Hello. In what has been another challenging year for many in the transport and logistics industry over the past 12 months, the 2013 Freight Transport Association Logistics Report may well have an important role to play in reflecting the highs and lows. There's no doubt that one of the high points for the transport sector was the success of delivering the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games to London, set alongside the continuing lows of the economic downturn of recent years. The annual FTA Logistics Report, compiled in association with PwC, appraises what the transport industry has been experiencing throughout the past 12 months. To discuss it further, I'm joined by Kulin Desai, the Transport and Logistics Industry Leader at PwC, and FTA Chief Executive Theo de Pencier. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the programme today. Theo, if we can start with yourself then. The FTA Logistics Report is said to reflect the challenges, successes and progress of the transport industry over the past 12 months. Do you think the 2013 report will actually demonstrate all those qualities as well?
I've absolutely no doubt. I think 2012, which of course the 2013 report reflects, was an absolutely vintage year for the industry. You've already touched on the Olympics and the success not just of delivering that huge logistical event, but of keeping one of the world's great cities going, with far more people travelling around and goods still needing to be delivered and collected. If you add to that I think increased level of innovation we've seen from the industry pick up over the last 12 months or so, and a continued drive for increased sustainability. It's been a cracking year for the industry.
Kulin Desai, the collaboration between yourselves and the FTA, the Freight Transport Association, how does that work in creating the logistics report itself?
Well, transport and logistics is an important industry for PwC, and when we were looking to tie up with a partner, we looked at the FTA as one of the leading organisations in the industry, representing a broad section of the sector. And what we bring, I think, is our thought leadership in terms of macroeconomics, sustainability, our perspective on changes in sort of human capital trends and how that impacts the sector. And so we work with the FTA to bring that into the report, which I think provides a much broader report.
Okay, Theo, in a nutshell, the FTA Logistics Report, what's the significance to the transport sector?
I think it really serves two roles, I guess. First of all, it's something of a benchmark and a historical record, if that doesn't sound a bit too grand. We look at a lot of data to see what's been happening in the industry, both within the UK, across Europe, globally. And secondly, in partnership with PwC, we plan to look at emerging trends and do some thought pieces, as Kulin has already touched upon. And therefore the report is both a historical record, but also a really interesting and thought-provoking look at some of the emerging trends in our industry.
Now, Kulin, looking back at previous reports, I mean, and working together, reflecting on those, how do you think it's going to change, if it will change at all, in 2013?
Well, I'm always positively surprised as to how the industry continues to innovate in a very challenging environment. And I expect to see the industry respond again, looking at how it reduces its cost base, how it innovates and services to be able to continue to meet the challenges of a difficult environment.
And what about the government, Theo? I mean, how will they sort of push forward, if you like, to promote the growth within the transport sector?
Well, the government is absolutely and correctly fixated on generating a recovery in the UK economy and growth from that recovery. So we have an important role to play in that. But we think just a little more help from government would not go amiss. We still believe that the price of fuel is too high, and the government is really the chief influence there through the level of fuel duty. We do believe the government can do more, not just to talk about infrastructure, but actually deliver it. And particularly in the transport industry, we know that investment generates greater efficiency, and therefore I think the case is proven. Now they just need to really get on with it.
You touched on the government there, of course. The budget's been and gone. Great talk about it, of course. How's that affected logistics and the wider economy, Kulin?
Well, I think the government is trying to help the industry, and you've seen the continued delay in any increases in fuel duty, and that's been a consistent policy now for some time. So I think it makes an incremental difference to the economics of the industry. I think that it's not a step change, but I think every little bit does help in terms of helping the industry stay competitive. I think the other thing, and Theo mentioned it, is infrastructure spending. Again, while not as substantial as perhaps as some people have liked, things like the Northern Line extension, repairs to major roads do facilitate growth and efficiency in the sector, so I think they're welcome.
Talking of growth and efficiency and sustainability in this sector, what can the government do to help, Theo, do you think?
Well, mode shift and increasing sustainability are absolutely key for the sector, as they are in many other parts of the economy. For example, I think if we take a look at infrastructure again, the government could give greater support to, for example, a gas network to complement the diesel network across the UK, and a little more encouragement to early adopters of more efficient equipment, be it vehicles or be it practices in other parts of the business. Those are the areas where the government not only can contribute to stronger growth, but also give the industry an encouraging push in the right direction.
Cool. And what about economic growth? Where do you think that's going to come from? We all talk about these green shoots of recovery. Is that going to happen this year?
It's a tough one. Certainly we have a phrase here called the new normal, which suggests that the future projections are going to be relatively benign in the medium term. I think personally my sense is the industry responding to focusing on export markets, particularly emerging markets, and I think that will drive some of the growth in the sector. The other area I think is technological innovation, where the industry will use technology, one, to lower costs in their own business, but also to see how they can innovate and provide new services, and I think those would be the twin thrusts.
Cullen and Theo, thank you very much for joining us today. So no doubt that the 2013 FTA Logistics Report will become a very useful and important document to the transport sector. If you'd like more information, log on to the website. It's www.fta.co.uk. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.